Hey guys, and welcome to Battle Turtle, where we play video games because it's too dangerous to go outside. I am Mel, and I am here today playing Planet Coaster, which is this totally awesome game that is currently in alpha release, and I am slightly addicted to. So it's made by Frontier, who have made like all of the Roller Coaster Tycoon and stuff like that games. This is like the successor to all of that. They're back, they're doing this again, and I am loving it. So here I am, I've opened up my map and I've got this really cool ravine with this awesome like hilly like cliff face kind of layout, and I'm so excited. So what I have planned for this map is I am going to make a badass castle. So I plan to use like the way that the earth is all shaped and the terrain to make this like a really medieval, like European style castle, but also kind of like got a Lord of the Rings feel where it's like built into the hill, built into the hill. That'd help. But yeah, so I'm just gonna time lapse this and talk over the top of it because each recording takes me about an hour or an hour and a half to get like 10 minutes worth of sped up footage. I would play it at real time, but I feel like that would get a little bit boring and I don't really make that much progress in like 20 minutes. So this is probably a better way for you guys to get a little bit more of an entertainment value and feel like I've actually made some progress each episode rather than if I was to do it in real time. So let me know what you think. I'm just going to keep talking. So what I'm doing here is I'm building like the front wall, I guess, the front wall. If I can use English, that would be handy. One day I will master the English language. It's been 25 years and I still haven't, but you know, there's still plenty of time. Anyway, so these are going to be like the lookout towers on my wall. And I plan to do, I saw that there's this cool bell thing in the assets. So I want to chuck a bell up there. So then like if anyone on the wall sees any like invading armies, they can sound the alarm and it'd be really cool. So that's what I'm going for with these. So it's kind of my main focus at the moment. I haven't really, whoop, there goes my chair. I haven't really planned much other than that. Things are a little bit difficult at the moment. So as I said, this is a alpha build of the game. So it is super early. It's really rare for a game to allow people, like to launch it to public this early. But I think what they've done is really cool because it means this game is so community driven. It's kind of like City Skylines and stuff like that, where eventually I see people like modding the heck out of this thing. But right now, because they're still in development, and if they get the community, see, there's that English again. If they get the community involved now, it means that they can save themselves a lot of trouble later. That's at least my personal opinion. Whether or not that was their plan, I don't know. Here we go. Look, I'm making the bell that I was talking about. So this is the cool bell asset. So it's kind of the only reason why I made these towers was so I could put up these cool bells. But yeah, so because this game is so early in its development, there are very few assets currently. So there's a lot of piratey stuff and some of like the default theme park style stuff, and that's it. So making anything that's not pirate related is a little bit hard, but I'm going to go for this medieval castle. I'm going to try really hard. Some things I might just put in that are piratey as like a placeholder, and then eventually when they do an asset update, maybe I'll be able to put in some more castle-y stuff. Unless they, like, the next update is some futuristic thing, then I might be stuffed because that's completely opposite to medieval. But one day I will have a medieval tower with roller coasters and it's going to be great. But in the meantime, I'm going to work with what I got. So what I've got going on here, this is pretty much the shape of the towers that I want. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm just going through with the assets and trying to jazz it up a little bit. I've put some lights on. There is a nighttime section in this game, which looks awesome. The only catch currently is because it's so early, nighttime like goes by like that. Like I spend most of my videos trying to pause it on nighttime so I can see how the lights are looking. But I don't know, maybe that's something that one day, I might go on a forum and suggest it. If they could have like some kind of toggle while you're in the like build mode, so you can toggle between what it looks like during the day and what it looks like at nighttime, that would be fantastic, because at the moment you have to sit there for about 5 minutes waiting for the daytime cycle to go away, and then you have to be like on the ball to hit pause when it's nighttime. So, I don't know, that's something that I've noticed. I currently am still trying to figure out some of the tools as well. They're still a little bit clunky. And once you've been playing for a little bit, you get really good at using the tools. But I usually find if I don't play for a day or two and I come back, it's like going back to square one. But anyway, so what I'm doing here at the moment, all I did before was I've literally copied the towers on the left and duplicated it over to the right. And so I'm just modifying them so then they fit the terrain on the right side a bit better. This actually bites me in the butt later, but I'll go into that once we get there. But yeah, so here I am trying to do oh look, here we go, the night, there we go. Did you see that? That was the night cycle. I missed it. It was just bam, night cycle. Anyway, so here I am trying to join up the two towers with the wall, making it look kind of cool, putting like a bunch of places where lookouts can be on the wall. I've noticed, so it's really hard to work on the grid, I'm finding. Things don't quite snap the way that you want them to, and trying to get things to line up can get a bit difficult. So you do kind of have to figure out a bit of like your own workaround cheats, like make stuff clip between itself. And I do a lot of things like this where I use different assets for things that they're not designed for. So this is me trying to hide the gap underneath the wall. And then I've decided, I've suddenly realized that these two walls don't actually line up. So this is me trying to line up so then when they meet in the middle, they're actually gonna touch. And this is where I kind of screwed myself over earlier by duplicating the two towers. Because it's the way that the game works is it separates it by buildings. And each building has its own grid that you work on, and that's how it figures out where to snap everything. But because I've done it as two separate buildings, and then they're on two separate grids that are slightly at different angles. So later on you'll see they don't quite meet, and I do find a workaround. It might be something that my OCD mind might freak out about later, but right now I'm happy to have the wall where it is. But yeah, so this is me trying to meet them in the middle. I'm making like a big, huge archway that people can walk through. And this will be like the grand entrance of the actual park. So this will be cool. What else am I doing? Oh yeah, so something I'll mention. I just had a bit of a brain fart there. Down the bottom in the tools, you'll see that there's like the rides and scenarios and all that kind of stuff. Builders. Actually, maybe you won't. Anyway, down the bottom, the coasters, the actual roller coaster making in this game currently is disabled when you get the default flat game. There is a way to activate them so then you can use the custom roller coasters, and I highly recommend it. It is a lot of fun. So what's happened there is the actual tool hasn't been finished yet. So Frontier wanted everyone to be able to play the game, but they weren't happy with where the coaster builder currently is, so they didn't unleash it. But everybody in the community have been like, look, it's called Planet Coaster. I want to play with the roller coasters. This is why I'm here. We don't care if it's broken as anything. Just we want to play with the roller coasters. That's the funnest part of this game. Oh, here we go. Here's me trying to get the two walls to meet. That didn't quite work out well, but I fudged it around and you wouldn't even notice from the distance. Anyway, back to roller coasters. So what I've done, on the forums, they did some instructions, gave out some instructions on how to get the current build of the roller coasters. So it's not finished and it's not perfect. It's like fairly difficult to use actually, but it's super fun. So I've made a little tutorial video on how to activate those. I don't get into using my roller coasters in this particular build of my map for a few episodes. So if you love this game and you want to give roller coasters a go, if you just click on the link that's probably been on the top left-hand corner of this video for the past like 5 minutes while I've been talking about this, then click on that and it will show you how to get those activated so you can go play with it. It's super fun, and especially this game has a mode where you can go into first person view of one of the people in your park, and going into first person view on the roller coaster is so cool. Like, I get motion sick, and that doesn't help because you're on the roller coaster just like, oh god, this is awful. But it's super cool, and I highly recommend it. If you're into this kind of game and you're into roller coaster building and stuff like that, first person view is hella fun. Anyway, so here I am, I'm going through and adding in some lights so then at nighttime I can have a look if I can manage to get the nighttime function to work. Toggle, Frontier, if you're watching, could you give me a nighttime toggle? That would be great. So here it is. You can see the line, what is it, the shadow line on the ground just kind of slowly going across. But yeah, anyway, over on this side, I'm making like a bit of a cargo bay entrance. You know, in castles, they usually have like, you've got, oh, there we go, nighttime, got it. Yeah, oh, missed it. Anyway, so that was nighttime. Didn't it look cool for that like split second that you saw it? But yeah, so this is where the castle is at currently, and I was working on the left here. So castles in medieval times had like your main entrance, but then you also had like your cargo entrance kind of thing. Well, the bigger ones did. The little ones didn't. But the bigger ones kind of had like a separate entrance that you had all of your like everyday food and all that kind of stuff would come through. So that's what I'm doing over on the left here. I guess this would also be where the stables are. I'm not like I've got basic knowledge on how a castle works, but not entirely. But yeah, anyway, so I found these really cool little hinges things that I just put on, and they're supposed to be designed for like holding up patios and stuff, but I thought it would be cool since I'm making this castle into the mountain if it looked like it was holding up parts of the mountain. But that's where I'm at the moment. So here I am now, I'm just going through and bulking out the wall a little bit just to make it look a little bit more realistic as a wall. Like, it's still a theme park wall, so I don't have to make it too realistic as far as like, you know, no one could actually walk on that wall. But for a theme park, it looks cool. All that chinking in the background that you probably just heard is Horatio. He's chilling out watching me play. Well, watching me record. But yeah, anyway, so here I am trying to use the grid to line up the gaps on these wall toppers here. So that takes a little bit of playing, but in the end, I feel like going to that little bit of extra effort, it might be OCD, but I feel like it makes it look just a little bit better. And currently, there's not much in the way of how to... Oh, yeah, anyway. So these spire things, I love. Like, they really up the castle to look more like a castle, I feel. It brings it up from being just a brick wall to this is a castle wall. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just my idea of a castle, but I love these things. And you'll notice throughout this video, well, not just this video, but like throughout this gameplay, whenever I'm having trouble like making this thing look more like a castle, I'll just go bang a bunch of these spires on there. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, bam, it suddenly looks like a medieval castle. But yeah, so here I am going through and filling in these gaps of the wall over here. I plan eventually to get a roller coaster to come through these gaps, so to like zoom through this archway and be super cool. But for now, I'm just filling in the wall so it looks a little bit more like defended, I guess, medieval defended. And I don't know, maybe one day when I get some more assets that are a little bit less piratey and more castle-y, I'll be able to put them in there. Right now, this is all I've really got. So I'm just fleshing out this little archway again, chucking in some little doorways because why not? I don't know, a lot of what I'm doing with this build is kind of, I'll notice an asset or something like that I haven't used before and be like, I wonder where I can use this. So this is me trying to put like a walkway along the top of the walls with this little like gutter thing, I guess you can call it. But that didn't quite work out. Anyway, so this is where I'm at the end of this build. Something here that I'll point out. So I wish, along with the nighttime toggle, I wish there was a undo button. Because if you accidentally undo, like delete something like that, then you gotta spend ages just sitting there trying to replace it. And it really eats the time away. Whereas if you just had an undo button, oh my god, the amount of fiddling and just annoyance that would be relieved would be fantastic. Anyway, so here I am trying to cover up the fact that these two parts of the wall don't actually touch, and this is kind of where I'm at the end of this video. So this is probably about, oh look, nighttime, I caught it. Yeah, so this is what my current castle wall looks like. What do you think? I like it. I feel like it's a good starting point for my castle. It looks really cool at nighttime. This is a little lookout that has already been made. But yeah, so this is where I'm going. Next video, I'm going to start working on the area in front of the wall here. I'm going to start putting, like, in medieval times, you had like the castle and the castle walls, and then you kind of had like a slums that sat out the front of the castle walls. And that's what I'm going to make next episode, is kind of like this castle slums. And it's eventually I might do something more with it than it just being decoration, but right now I want to get like that slummy kind of area going. Calling it the slums is probably not exactly the most appealing thing, but that's what it is. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. This style of video takes a bit longer to make than things like my previous kingdom video. I did intend for this to become the new kingdom kind of thing where I put it up every day, but it just takes so much work. I'm only going to be able to put up once a week. Anyway, so I've been Mel, this has been Battle Turtle. I'll see you next time for some more slum building, I guess. That's what I've been saying for the past, 2 minutes. And I hope to see you around next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you for more video games!